Margaret, you're 91 years old. Who are you?
A retired English teacher, 38 years in the classroom. I read a book a week. I do crossword puzzles in ink every morning. I am sharp. I have always been sharp. That's exactly why my daughter had to drug me.
What do you mean, had to?
If my brain was working, I would have caught her in a week. She knew that. So the first thing she did was take my brain offline.
Let's go back. Tell us about your family.
I had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. Robert moved to Canada. James went to California. Good boys, busy lives. They loved me from a distance. And then there's Patricia, my youngest, my only daughter, the one who stayed.
What happened to your husband?
Gerald died in 2009, heart attack. He was reading the newspaper at breakfast. By lunch, he was gone. Just like that. 41 years of marriage, over between 2 meals.
What did Patricia do after Gerald died?
Moved back into my house within a month. Held my hands, looked me in the eyes, said, "Mama, you'll never be alone. I promise."
Did you believe her?
With my whole heart. I thanked God for her that night. Literally got on my knees and thanked God for giving me Patricia.
Knowing what you know now, how does that feel?
Like praying to the wrong thing.
When did things start going wrong?
I was 84, and it wasn't slow. It hit me like a truck. One week I'm doing crosswords in ink. The next week I can't remember my neighbour's name. A woman I knew for 30 years. Gone from my brain like she never existed.
What else was happening to you?
Sleeping 14, 15 hours a day. Waking up more tired than when I went to bed. My legs felt like concrete. I fell twice in 1 week. I'd walk into rooms and just stand there staring at the...
Did you think it was dementia?
What else would an 84-year-old think? That's the scariest word in the world when you're old. Dementia. It means you're leaving and you can't come back. I cried myself to sleep every night.
Were you actually leaving?
Yes, but not because of any disease. Because of my daughter.
How did Patricia react when she saw you declining?
She didn't react like a daughter. She reacted like someone who had been waiting. Very calm, very prepared. She sat me down and said, "Mama, I think you have dementia. We need to start planning."
Planning.
Her word, not mine. She pulled out a stack of papers. Power of attorney, bank access, medical authority, control over the house, control over everything. Already printed, already organized.
She had them ready.
A lawyer prepared those papers 3 months before my first symptom. 3 months before I forgot a single word. She had the trap built before the bait was out.
Wait, 3 months before you got sick?
3 months. I was perfectly fine when she had those documents drawn up. Reading books, cooking dinner, sharp as a knife. She planned this before she ever touched a pill.
Did you sign the papers?
Every page, with shaking hands and tears in my eyes, because she was my daughter, and I was terrified. Who else was I supposed to trust?
Margaret, what was in the tea?
A drug called lorazepam, a sedative. She crushed it into my Earl Grey every single morning.
Every morning?
Every single morning. For over 2 years. She'd bring me the cup, sit across from me, watch me drink it. Sometimes she held my hand while I sipped.
What does lorazepam do to an 84-year-old woman?
Everything I was experiencing. Memory loss, confusion, drowsiness, falls, slurred speech. It mimics dementia perfectly. Even doctors can't tell the difference without blood work.
So every symptom you had
was manufactured. Every single one. I didn't have a disease. I had a daughter with a pill crusher.
Where did she get the pills?
A friend with a prescription. Just handing over bottles like it was vitamins. They found a stash in Patricia's bedroom during the investigation.
They found a pill crusher too?
In her nightstand drawer, right next to her hand lotion and her reading glasses. Like it was just part of her nightly routine. Read a chapter, moisturize, crush Mama's pills. go to sleep.
That is terrifying.
Imagine drinking the tea.
Did she ever seem guilty?
One morning she brought me my cup, held my hand and said, "I don't know what I'd do without you, Mama."
While the pills were in the tea?
Dissolving as she said it. She meant those words, just not the way you think. She meant, I can't get the money without you alive and drugged. I was her ATM. She needed me breathing to keep the machine running.
Did she ever slip up? Ever give you a hint?
Never. Not once. 2 years, 730 mornings, same smile, same kiss on my forehead, same, "Drink up, Mama." Flawless performance, every single day.
What about doctors? How did no one catch this?
Patricia was the gatekeeper. She drove me to every appointment, sat in the room, answered questions before I could process them. Mama fell again. She forgot where she was. She's very confused lately.
And you couldn't fight back?
I was sitting there in a drug fog. I could barely follow the conversation. I'd just nod. The doctor saw a loving daughter caring for a sick mother. He diagnosed early-stage dementia, exactly what Patricia wanted on paper.
Did the doctor ever question Patricia?
She cried in his office once, real tears, told him, "It's so hard watching Mama slip away." He handed her a tissue and told her she was doing a wonderful job. I remember thinking, wow, she really loves me. Look how much this hurts her.
Those weren't real tears.
Those were tears of relief. The doctor believed her. That's why she was crying. Not love. Relief.
Let's talk about isolation. She didn't just drug you, she cut you off from everyone.
That was phase 2. First take the brain, then take the people.
Who did she remove first?
My best friend Dolores. We had lunch every Thursday for 25 years. Then one week, she stopped coming. I asked why. Patricia said, "Dolores doesn't want to see you like this, Mama."
Was that true?
Complete lie. Patricia called Dolores and told her I didn't want visitors anymore, said I was too far gone. Dolores stayed away crying for a year. She thought she was respecting my wishes I never made.
Patricia used your name to push your best friend away.
And she broke both our hearts doing it. That's a special kind of cruelty. Hurting 2 people with one lie.
What about your sons?
She changed my phone number, took my cell phone. Then she started emailing Robert and James from my account, pretending to be me.
What did the email say?
"I'm doing well. Patricia takes wonderful care of me. Don't worry about calling. I get tired on the phone." She even added little details to make it believable. "Made banana bread yesterday." Things I would say. She studied me. She became me on a screen.
Your sons had no idea.
They thought their sister was a saint. Robert almost flew in for Christmas one year. Patricia, emailing as me, wrote back, "Don't waste the money, sweetheart. I'm fine here with your sister."
How isolated were you?
No phone, no friends, no family, no outside contact. Just me and Patricia, in my house, every day, for 2 years. I was a hostage, and the whole world thought I was being cared for.
Now the money. Because this is why she did everything.
Everything was always about the money. The drugs, the diagnosis, the isolation, all of it was just steps to get to my bank account.
How much did you have?
$340,000 in savings. House fully paid off. Gerald's pension, $2,800 a month. We weren't rich. We were 40 years of packing lunches and driving used cars.
What did Patricia buy?
A BMW, spa weekends, designer handbags, kitchen renovation, vacations I didn't know about. She was living like a queen.
While you were doing what?
Sitting in a stained bathrobe I hadn't changed in 4 days. Too drugged to dress myself. Too confused to watch television. Too weak to stand without holding a W.
How much did she take total?
Almost $200,000 in 3 years. 40 years of savings. Gone. spent on hotel rooms and leather bags.
Did you know at the time?
I couldn't remember what I ate for breakfast. How was I supposed to track a bank account?
So she had everything. Your mind, your money, your family, your freedom. Who stopped her?
A mailman named Eddie.
Tell me about Eddie.
He delivered my mail for 12 years. He knew me. I was the lady who opened the door every afternoon and talked his ear off for 10 minutes. Sharp, opinionated, loud. That was me.
But he hadn't seen you in months.
Patricia always grabbed the mail now. But one Tuesday, one random, ordinary Tuesday, she wasn't home.
Where was she?
Out spending my money somewhere.
And Eddie rang the bell.
He rang the bell. I answered. And he told me later he almost dropped the mail.
What did he see?
A skeleton. I'd lost so much weight, my clothes were hanging off me. My eyes were glassy, my hair was a mess. I was holding the door frame with both hands just to stay standing. He said I looked like a ghost.
What did he say?
Mrs. Walker, are you okay?
What did you say?
Something woke up. Something deep inside me that the drugs couldn't reach. Some tiny piece of the real Margaret clawed its way to the surface. And I said 4 words.
4 words.
4 words that saved my life.
What did Eddie do?
Walked to his truck, picked up his phone, called Adult Protective Services. Right there in my driveway. Didn't ask Patricia. Didn't hesitate. 1 phone call. That's all it took.
A mailman saved your life.
A stranger saved my life. My own daughter was trying to end it. Let that sit with you.
What happened next?
A social worker named Linda showed up 2 days later. No warning. Patricia opened the door and her face went white. First time in 2 years I saw her scared.
Did the mask come back?
3 seconds. Then she was performing again. Oh, come in. Mama's having a good day. Linda asked to speak with me alone. Patricia fought it hard. She gets confused. She needs me in the room.
Did Linda let her stay?
She closed the door between us. Best door that ever closed in my life.
How did Linda figure it out?
She asked me about today I failed. She asked me about 1960. I was flawless. I recited poetry. Named students from 1975. Described my wedding dress down to the pearl buttons.
Why was that a red flag?
Real dementia takes old memories first. You lose the past. The recent stuff stays. I was the opposite. Perfect recall of decades ago. Couldn't remember yesterday. That's not a dying brain. That's a drugged brain.
She ordered a blood test.
That afternoon. And it blew everything open.
What did they find?
Lorazepam. High levels. Daily dosing. In a woman who had never been prescribed that drug in 91 years of life.
Did they test again?
3 days later. Still there. Because Patricia didn't know about the first test. She made my tea the next morning, crushed the pills, poured the honey, smiled. Same routine. The morning after the social worker came to save me, she drugged me again.
She had no idea the walls were closing in.
She thought she was untouchable. She wasn't.
They removed you from the house.
Immediately. Medical facility. Safe withdrawal.
What was withdrawal like?
Hell. Shaking for days. Night sweats. Panic attacks where I thought my chest would explode. Nightmares every night. My body was addicted to a drug I never chose to take.
How long until the fog lifted?
Weeks. Slowly at first, then all at once. Like a radio finding its signal. The static faded. The words came back. My thoughts sharpened.
What was the first thing you did when you felt like yourself again?
Picked up a crossword puzzle. Finished it. In ink. And I cried. Because I finally knew I never lost my mind. She stole it.
What did you feel when you understood the full picture?
Rage. Not sadness. Everyone expects sadness. But it was rage. Cold. Heavy. The kind that sits in your chest like concrete and never moves.
Patricia went to trial. What did she do in court?
Cried, obviously. Told the judge she was overwhelmed. Said caring for me was too much pressure. Her lawyer begged for compassion, called it caregiver burnout.
Same performance?
Same face she made when she brought me tea. Same tears. Same voice. Different audience.
Did the judge believe her?
Not one word. He looked at her and said something I'll never forget. He said, "You didn't care for your mother. You consumed her."
What was the sentence?
4 years. Elder abuse. Financial exploitation. Administering a controlled substance without consent.
How long did she serve?
3. She's out now. Different state.
Has she tried reaching you?
Letters. Calls. Showed up at my apartment once. Knocked on my door and said, "Mama, please, let me explain."
What did you do?
My neighbour called the police before I opened the door.
You have a restraining order now.
Against my own baby girl. A piece of paper from a judge that says the child I raised can't come within 500 feet of me. You sit with that.
Do you miss her?
Miss the daughter I invented in my head. The devoted girl. The loving caretaker. But she never existed. Patricia was a character my daughter played, and I fell in love with the performance.
Do you think she ever loved you? Even a little?
I don't know. And that's worse than knowing she didn't. Because if she never loved me, fine, she's a bad person, it's simple. But if she loved me even a little and still did this, that's a kind of broken I can't fix.
Do you blame yourself at all?
I used to. Every day. Should have tasted the pills. Should have asked more questions. But that's what abusers want. They want you looking in the mirror instead of looking at them. I refuse to carry her guilt. At 91 years old, I refuse.
Has this changed how you see the world?
It changed how I see family. Blood doesn't mean safe. A last name doesn't mean loyal. The most dangerous person in my life shared my DNA.
Do you trust people now?
I trust Rosa, my caregiver. I trust Dolores. I trust Eddie. I trust people who show me who they are through actions, not words. Words are easy. Patricia proved that.
Is Dolores back?
Every Thursday, like clockwork. We sit at my kitchen table and talk until the tea gets cold. She told me she cried every Thursday I was gone. I told her I cried too. We don't talk about the gap. We just fill it.
Your sons?
James flew in the day he found out. Cried for 2 hours. Robert came next morning. Couldn't stop apologizing. I told them both, stop. She fooled doctors, she fooled lawyers, she fooled me. You never stood a chance.
Do you make your own tea now?
Nobody touches my tea. Nobody. I boil the water, I pour the cup, I add the honey. That cup is mine. When someone uses a cup of tea to steal your mind for 2 years, that cup becomes sacred.
What about Eddie?
Christmas card every year. Handwritten. I write the same thing every time. You saved my life, Eddie. He writes back every year and says I'm the toughest woman he's ever met.
Are you?
I'm not tough. I'm just still here. And I'm still here because a mailman cared more about me than my own flesh and blood.
What's the one thing you want families watching this to hear?
Show up. Don't call. Don't text. Show up. Look in their eyes. Watch who controls the conversation. Watch who holds the phone and the checkbook. Don't let one person be the gatekeeper to your parents' life.
Why does that matter so much?
Because mothers don't look for monsters in their children. We look for angels. Even when the tea tastes different. Even when the world gets foggy. We think not my child. Never my child. And that's exactly what they count on.
And if someone watching this is doing what Patricia did?
You think you're safe because your victim is old, because nobody's watching, because you've covered every angle.
Last question. You're 91. You survived all of this. What keeps you going?
Spite. A little bit of spite. She tried to erase me, and I'm still here, still reading, still thinking, still doing crosswords in ink. She wanted me to disappear. I didn't. And every morning I wake up sharp and clear and alive. I win. She lost. I win.
Margaret Walker, 91 years old, still holding the pen.
Still holding the pen. And I'm not putting it down.